Jessii Vee, and as you can tell by the title of today's video, we're going to be talking about one of my favorite series ever, phenomenons. We're starting off by talking about some very weird things that happen with rain, and that's why I chose a blue top today, because we're talking about rain. And you know what's so weird? Right when I sat down to film this, it starts storming outside, like horribly. So if you hear any weird loud sounds or flashes, it's thunder and lightning. So I feel like it's just a whole mood right now. Before we get started though, I just wanted to let you know that we have a whole bunch of new crazy awesome plushies on our website. We have these narwhals that are literally ice cream cones. So the cutest things I've ever seen. They are jumbo size, which is why they're a bit more expensive than the rest. They have an ice cream cone and like ice cream dripping down around them. I love them. Actually, wait, I can show you. I literally have them here. One second. Look how cute these are! So we have the pink and white one. Sorry, the lighting is changing. My camera's like trying to focus on these narwhals. And then we have a blue and purple one. And we also have two new unicorn plushies that have the coolest feet. I'm going to show you these up close. Look how awesome their feet are. This one has a moon and star, and this one has a star and clouds. And I love anything with a crescent moon on it because, as you guys know, I have my tattoo. Can you see it through the shirt? I don't think you can. So anyways, those are our new plushies. If you would like one, the link is down below in the description. I am constantly restocking my store online with new magical cool items. And if you guys want to stay up to date with what's being put on there, definitely follow my Instagram account called Jessii Vee Merch. You will be the first to know if you followed that account. Alright, so let's get into this video. So I have briefly talked about rain phenomenons in my other videos. Very briefly, I've talked about how it's rained down fish, it's rained frogs, which is definitely very bizarre, but there are some other phenomenons that I have not mentioned. One strange fact is that it has rained blood before. Yes, you heard that. It's rained literal blood. This happened in 1890 when there was a terrible storm. The wind was so violent that the birds flying away up in the air basically exploded. The birds exploded and it rained blood for the rest of the day. And that's quite disturbing to hear if I do say so myself. I feel like if you were standing outside and that began to happen, I would think the world was ending. There was another time in 1841 where these people in Tennessee were working on a tobacco farm when suddenly they heard these loud crackling sounds from above them, and it started pouring down red rain. And I can't even imagine how confusing that must have been. And these people also said the clouds above them were even red. The whole sky was just covered in this blood red color. Another time in history, it rained corn. From about 1982 to 1986, kernels of corn rained down on several houses in Colorado. It rained so much corn that corn was literally piling up on the ground around people's houses. I haven't even found an explanation for why that happened, so if any of you guys know, comment down below. Okay, this is probably the craziest one to me. There was a time in history where it rained down alligators. In 1877, several 1-foot-long alligators fell on a farm in South Carolina. And what's so weird is that when they landed, they were completely unharmed and started crawling around everywhere. So these people were just standing around being chased around by alligators that were falling from the sky. And this next one, okay, this one actually might be the craziest. There was a time in history when it rained down cows. Sometime around 1990, a Japanese fishing boat was sunk off the eastern coast of Siberia by a falling cow. So basically these people were out fishing and found this boat that had been crushed and was just floating around in the water. Thankfully, I believe most or all of the crew members that had been on this boat were still alive. So when people asked them like, oh my gosh, what happened to your boat? They said that they had seen several cows falling from the sky and a couple of them fell onto their boat and cracked it. Now I believe most people did not believe their story, but the crew members really did have this look on their face like they weren't telling a lie. And this only happened in 1990. That was not a long time ago. That was like 4 years before I was born. Alright, this next phenomenon is definitely very creepy, and it was was times where the rain was falling up, which sounds very weird to say, but basically it was going in an upwards motion instead of falling like we usually know it does. It's almost like gravity suddenly switched directions. And all of these encounters happened to people when they were by themselves, when they had no one else around them to also experience this. And it always happened when these people were pretty much in the middle of nowhere. One report was from a person who was lost on a dirt road out in the country. They were trying to find a bus station when the sky grew dark and they heard thunder. But what was weird was that the thunder felt and sounded like it was coming from beneath them, like literally in the ground. Suddenly, droplets of water began forming underneath his feet, and the droplets started lifting from the ground before his eyes and began going back into the sky. It was almost like he was walking through sprinklers on the ground. He said the whole time his head felt fuzzy and he was unable to hear anything. And when he finally got to a bus station, the upwards rain stopped and no one believed him. But what's even creepier is that this is not the first report of this happening to somebody. Like I said, it's happened to several people in history, and it always happens when they're by themselves, so no one believes them. And who knows, this could all be an urban legend or myth, but if this happened to me, I would be so freaked out. Rain falling the wrong way? No thank you. Alright, the next phenomenon is the singing sand dunes. It's basically a very creepy sound that the earth makes. Now, I find sand dunes to be so beautiful. I mean, all the pictures I see of them, they're like so majestic. But the sheer size of them are definitely daunting. If you see a picture of a person standing in front of a sand dune, they're huge. What's even creepier is that a number of sand dunes across the globe have been making some intense noise. People say they sound like a deep hum of bees or people doing a rumbling chant. So these moans that these sand dunes make have been baffling scientists for years and years. And just so you guys get an idea of what these sand dunes actually sound like if you're out there standing there in person, I'm gonna play this sound for you right now. So yeah, it's definitely a very haunting sound. It sounds like someone's just like out there humming. There was one study done that said the humming is caused by the size of the grains and the speed at which they whistle through the air, but it still baffles people how loud and powerful these sounds really are. And it never stops. Never. Alright, this next phenomenon is called ball lightning, which is kind of creepy for me to talk about right now because it's storming outside, so pray for me. We all know that lightning comes in zigzag bolts that strike from the sky. That's pretty much what we're all used to seeing, right? But on very, very, very rare occasions, it does not come down from the sky in that shape. It comes down in a big circular glowing blue ball, and that is why this phenomenon is called ball lightning. It's a very rare phenomenon and very hard to even predict when it's gonna happen, and because of this, researchers really don't know that much about it. Some people say they are electrically charged meteorites, and others say that these balls of light are just hallucinations induced by magnetism during storms. And what's really interesting to me is that there are literally pictures from like the 1800s, 1700s, all the way back in history of this ball lightning happening. There are literally drawings from history that show people sitting in their house and suddenly this big ball of light comes in from their window. So like I said, this rare event has been happening all throughout history. I have never personally seen ball lightning. It seems like something that would come from like Zeus from like Greek mythology. If you've ever seen ball lightning, comment down below. I would love to know. Next, we have a creepy phenomenon called the eye. There's an unnaturally round island in the countryside of Argentina. Many people have been saying that it's a hotspot for paranormal activity. So like I said, it is known as El Ojo, or the eye in English. And it has been visible for nearly 2 decades. So not that long, only about 20 years. People are still trying to figure out how it became so geometrically perfect and why it spins in circles. Some people also say that it's a major hotspot for UFO activity. And it just sits in the middle of this swamp surrounded by freezing cold water, which is very, very unnatural for the area that it's in. Usually the water there is very warm, even hot, some might say. Floating islands with plants plants are quite rare. And even more rare in history is islands that constantly spin. I can't think of one island in the world right now that spins all day long. So comment down below what you guys think this place is really used for. Do you think it could be paranormal? Do you think it could be alien related? I mean, I believe in both things, so. Alright, and lastly, I want to talk about a place called Gravity Hill. And the reason why I'm so intrigued by this place is because it's only about a 2-hour drive from my house. So I feel like Ty and I should do a vlog over on our vlog channel called Vee Vlogs where we go and actually visit this place. Magnetic hills are very, very rare, and I'm gonna tell you guys what those mean, but this place called Gravity Hill is in Burlington, Ontario. There has been a lot of talk about a hill in Burlington where if you put your car into neutral at the bottom, the car will climb up the hill. There have been stories about a school bus full of kids that had crashed at the willow tree at the top of the hill, and some of the children passed away from this crash. Some believe it is the spirits of the children that push your car up the hill. So guys, this place is terrifying. You literally go to the bottom of the hill and put your car in neutral, so you're not pressing on the gas, you're not using your car in any way, and it will literally be pulled up the hill, which is crazy. That does not happen on normal hills. So people say it's the ghost children that died on this bus crash. And there are a ton of videos on YouTube where you can find people actually testing this theory out, and it's terrifying. So yeah, like I said, go follow Vee Vlogs because we're probably gonna go there and try this. Now this is a relatively busy road, so it might be hard for us to do this, but we're gonna try. But yeah, anyways guys, those are all the phenomenons we're gonna be talking about today. If you love these sort of videos, give this video a thumbs up and let me know. And don't forget, all the new plushies are stocked in the link down below in the description. And yeah, I hope you have an awesome rest of your day, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!